So this is an item that the board had asked us to look into a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a chance to do so. This is in regards to the recent marijuana legislation and what the board's options are going forward. And we have a special guest from Carl Wilson's office. Michelle Baker is in the back to field any questions about the legislature is thinking in real time. Should we need to refer to that?
Well, I think she's far too intelligent to speculate on what the legislature was thinking.
They're thinking.
I'm just kidding.
I want ice cream. The legislature, as the memorandum describes, did pass a package of cannabis-related legislation, House Bill 3400, 2041, 460A, Senate Bill 844. They also considered a bill regarding hemp, which was not incorporated into this package of legislation. And I described in the memo new requirements, new options, and new prohibitions.
Can you explain the 21-day element in that provision? The county has 21 days to provide the statement to OLCC. 21 days from when?
Yeah, so what the Commissioner is describing is the first bullet under new requirements. And it says, upon request of OLCC, the county must provide a land use compatibility statement that demonstrates the applicant's proposed land use is allowable. The county has 21 days to provide the statement to OLCC. That's as of, I think, the date that OLCC requests the county to submit the land use compatibility statement. So OLCC is going to say we need a statement within 21 days. This will probably be encoded in the rule down the line, but I think that's how it's going to play out.
And that doesn't even operate until January 1st, 2016. So between now and then, we have to do whatever we're going to do with our land use rules so that we can tell them what they are, right?
Yes. Now, if you do nothing, then you can just fall back on what the statute actually provides for, which is that I think I have it described here later on in the memo.
From farm and forest.
Yes. So you may allow production of marijuana as a farm use on land zoned for farm or forest, and also exclusive farm use. It used to be just exclusive farm use. And so you can fall back on that and simply have your planning director have an analysis of whether the proposed site is considered as one of those zones. But you have other options as well between now and then.
Well, that's the least.
That's the baseline.
That's the baseline. And you can put other restrictions.
I like the rate I right at the end. Pretty well sums up the mess.
There's things that you would want to see as far as compatibility element in EFU or what about resource or something like that for some. But enforcing these elements are the biggest challenge. I mean, we'd like to say in order to grow X number of plants, you need to have a certain amount of water rights. And the state would dictate that you can't irrigate out of a private well more than 2.5 acres, or you can't use water out of a stream or irrigation canal without access to it legally. And I think we see that happening. That's some of the biggest issue, I think, with the water.
Those are a whole lot bigger than some of this other little stuff.
Yeah.
But we have to deal with it.
So part of this, if we go about it from a standpoint, let's take water, for instance. You need the Water Resources Council, you need the Water Master, our code enforcement, planning at the table to kind of hash out. We did this once, and it just seemed overwhelming, in my opinion. We didn't know what was in 3400. Now we do. But if we can break it up into tangible things to say, well, we're going to address this from a land use compatibility standard relevant to water, and go through that, and then go, well, what's next? Planning, setback requirements. We have that for that park, 150 feet or whatever from a property line to do any kind of a structure relevant to that park, and that's in our RLDC. And I think we can regulate from a place and manner, that it needs to have setback requirements or something to that effect. So, yeah. So breaking it up might, because otherwise it just looks overwhelming.
It's a huge task.
Yeah,
it is. Even when the board last left off, there was a discussion about creating a task force or something to that effect. I think you have about a year before you can get it on the next available ballot. You have to put it on a general election ballot if you want.
November 2016.
Yes, and so that's your 90 days prior to that to get to the clerk's office is going to be around this time next year.
And that's just around the corner.
It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
But I do think you have at least that amount of
We'll
time.
probably have 2 planning directors before then, for average.
Oh.
Just kidding.
But yeah, that's the difficulty. But anyway, I think we need to prioritize what we want them to focus on first. I mean, the big one to me is water. I mean, we can get a lot of things passed without having new ground or something. We all need water, and that's a big concern for me.
Believe it or not, electricity might be too. I mean, with the city driving everyone indoors, that's going to be an electrical grid kind of situation that they're going to have to contend with, that's the thing.
But in not trying to say it's a good idea, but yet on the other hand, if I'm using it, I'm going to pay for it. And then Pacific Power then has the problem of how do you get this thing. But I'm saying with water withdrawal.
It sounds like a lot of electricity, lights and stuff, but AC units, refrigerators, those things use a tremendous generators, electric motors, and they're not. It's not. It is. Cumulatively, I have a little bit of experience with electricity. Cumulatively, the industry is electricity intense, but it's not. It's not an aluminum smelting plant that says we have nothing in the pipeline to accommodate this capacity. Pacific Power has, I would imagine, capability to take as a percentage of the overall usage in Josephine County or Southern Oregon. If it's 1 or 2%,
as long as it's and paid for usage.
Yeah, but that's something to consider. But we don't really regulate that. I think that we're not going to be able to meter people's meters and say, "Sorry, you're using more than your allocated amount." Pacific Power needs to probably address that issue. But I think the first step is the board needs to kind of designate an internal task force, certainly, to take a look at this. We kind of had an ad hoc one. Wally, you were on that, and Dennis and others. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I would certainly agree. It's better who's going to organize this
most
thing.
of these are within my liaison wheelhouse, I think. I don't know which one wasn't. Public health would have been the only one that wasn't, and I think they need to be included. So it's up to the board, but I think that's a good place to start.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we need to start. We need to see some direction where we want to go, and because, like I say, it's going to be here before we know it. October or November, so you've got September. There has to be something formalized. So September is just a little over a year away. And that's not a very long concept of talking, investigating, and answering questions.
It's 90 days prior to November, so you're really talking like August.
Yeah, the deadline for this November election, 2015, it was actually last week.
Yes.
So we've got until this time next year, November 2016.
Yes.
There's a little more time on the agenda.
And that goes by.
Yeah. So
we have
pass an ordinance.
We have to think about this. We can bring it back for the agenda in a week or so.
Want to put it on general discussion?
That would be really helpful. Maybe we convene the primary elements of that task force.
Yeah, that'd be good.
See what they have to say.
Okay.
Great.
Because we have to do something.
And who do you want as a general discussion?
I think I can coordinate with that previous task force that I
previous one.
Yeah. That would probably be a good round here.
Okay.
But no rush. We want Commissioner Walker to be available on everybody.
Are we in agreement on that one?
Absolutely.
There it is. Okay. But yeah, thanks for putting this in together. Be the catalyst to stir our minds. But yeah, it's going to be here, and if we're not cautious, we'll be sitting around going, we should have probably thought about that, and it's too late.
If there's any consolation, it's going to be here just as fast for all the rest of the counties too.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
So there's a lot of other people that have to deal with this. So we do have the opportunity to interact with our peers.
Not quite to the same degree as Josephine County, though. Whereas Polk County has maybe a dozen grows, we've got 2,500 licensed, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
just talking to other commissioners around the state, they're like, well, good luck with that. Let us know how it goes, and maybe we'll look into it. But it's not as big of an issue, you know.
Well, the other one too that attracted my attention was that voters can opt out of any one or all four of the retail categories: producer, processor, wholesale, and retailer, and or the medical processor dispenser. So that is a possibility that's out there. I don't think it's going to fly too far in Jefferson County, but that is a possibility that needs to be looked at. Do what?
The horse is out of the barn.
Well, I mean, but it can be. It could be. That's, I'm just saying. Theoretically, it could be opted out. No, I don't think probably. We're not going to fly that plane too far.
The drawback to that is that you lose your opportunity for the 3% retail sales.
Yeah, that has to be.
Well, that was also interesting, though. It says the projected rate to the state is, I think, was $68 million.
It's 28.
Or 28. Was it 28 million?
It's $60 million for the biennium of 2018.
Yeah, and so you say, how much of that is going to get skimmed off the top?
A lot.
Yeah,
it's not going to be worth much to the county.
No, it's not going to be worth very much to the county.
Retail won't happen here. It'll happen in Multnomah County where they don't need the money.
Yeah.
They're going to ship it up to the population center, not where they grow it.
Okay.
So we can charge a 3% sales tax, which we have to get the measure on the ballot.
Yes, that's right.
But we have to do it at a general election in an even year, which is November 16.
Which also has to be passed by the vote.
Right.
Yes.
Does that happen? I don't know. But it certainly is. That's one of those things that need to be looked at. The other one is that you cannot sue marijuana operations for nuisance since they're covered under the Right to Farm Act. And you go, oh, you got to be kidding me. Okay. But other than that, it's great. But I think,
citizens too, Commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
So,
sure.
It's the county.
Sure.
But,
so do we know all that? No, we know that. Okay. So, but it always is certainly on the table, should be on the table, and to be able to discuss it. Medical marijuana growers can have no more than 96 mature plants at a given address. 96? Golly. They are one sick dude, I tell you.
Anyway. The city of Portland.
$28 million in the fiscal year 2018. $28 million. And by the time it gets all skimmed off and divided up amongst 36 counties. Okay, not good news. Anything else on this?
I don't think so. We'll bring it back to the general discussion.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
Try to make some positive steps on this thing. Anybody have any other questions?
No, I think that